Hello, I'm back. Did a lot of stuff since the last time, so the start of this is going to be a recap of that kind of stuff, and then we'll get into, well, we might get into actually like coding the inter item interactions, but mostly I figured it out in my head. So as part of that work I did off stream, so it might be just explaining stuff. We'll see where we go from here. So yeah, last time we just did a little bit of stuff where I removed unique items from clues I can drop, and then went down architectural and systems design. Death spiral. Well, I came out the other side. Before I came out the other side, I did something a little bit nuts, which was upgrade the project to Unreal Engine 5.7. The word madness here applies because I really didn't need to do that. Everything is working fine. I decided to do it anyways. But I'm going to tell you the kind of things that happened and what I did about them. The first problem I had was Steam Advanced Sessions is not compiling properly under 5.7. So if we opt into our projects, edit plugins, so we've got advanced sessions in here, and that's what gives us our host game, join game. Advanced Steam sessions is related, and what it does is that it lets you host games and then you join them through the Steam interface. So it'll show up in Steam and say, oh, Dell is hosting a game of blah, and you right click join and you join it there. By the time I give a shit about the Steam sessions, he'll have updated it for 5.7. So I'm just going to ignore it for now because we're not using it, and we'll keep using our advanced sessions so we can do our testing. So that fixed one thing, and when this gets updated to where it works as 5.7, we'll be able to add it back into the project. That's the first thing to look out for. The second thing to look out for was that 5.7 uses a new, it looks same-ish, but this is apparently really rewritten. So there's a lot of stuff that's different in here. And honestly, like, it's snappier and all that kind of thing. However, under Wayland, if you're using Wayland, and one thing you'll notice that is missing are the tooltips. So the tooltips are busted. So you have to turn them off, or else they go in weird spots. They usually go in the middle. Other things that go in the middle are, there we are, turning them off. And in the end, we also change menu shortcut to run our X11. So you can tell it to do X11 as a video driver, and then you end up having to do this. And if I've put this link in the description, it's got a bunch of people trying it out and trying to fix what it is. But essentially what it is that X11 is, the way it was explained in that thread is that Wayland is either Wayland or X11 is relative, and the other one's vice versa as far as like coordinates in a window. So if you have something like this, right, and then you click on this, that's where it should be. But under Wayland, this menu would be dead center of the screen, not the window. no matter where this is. So it's absolutely unusable. So you have to pretty much tell it, go into X11, and one day Epic will fix this and we can be full Wayland. But right now we don't care because we can just say do that and problem solved. And this is just for the like the editor. The actual like games work fine. After that, I was able to get 5.7 working and it upgraded everything just fine. So yeah, if I go in here and I slam the button, this still works because it's not a Steam session, it's just a session, advanced session. Game isn't any faster, but definitely the editor is faster. I actually click it, who knows? There we go. So yeah, so this is a classic, this is, we all know this. There's like, I don't know when the cache expires, so usually you don't, but if I don't open this for a bit, it will look like now before. It's all running in Unreal 7. And that's why I did actual productivity. I think any like a touching. I tell you in the last 45 minutes, you're productive. If you're doing the thinking, it's productive. So fuck that. Oh, wait. I've got a whole bunch of mess here. Mostly a brain, but this is the interacting list we had from last time. And we have interact with each other. The numbers here and what kind of things they are. Physics objects. So this is last week, you might remember. Collision activation, projectile activation. System 1 is a simple interface on here. So what I ended up happening is just like it back to not fully data driven, but I don't think it has to be data driven. If we set it like this, we don't care. So system 1 is your direct reference. So that's light switches, that kind of thing. And we've got a remote controller and remote controlled. So we can say this switch is the remote controller. When you click it, it'll activate, run a function, remote interact on a remote controlled item. And a remote controller has a collection of remote controlled and somewhere or a function that calls remote interact on everything that in the collection. On one level, so that's cool. So you may see that the remote controller interface doesn't have its own activation. You should be doing this just like with the normal interact or whatever it is, the existing interaction interfaces that we have. And then this is actually just a way for you to add items that are controlled by this switch. It's a switch, just a switch. Systems 2 and 3 are just system 2, which so it's like just system 2, and this is we got our interface combine, can combine, and blah blah blah. Combine from. We have the question: how do we know combining? Not just using an item. So this is where I kind of like went. Whoops! Oh god damn it! Kind of went into my spiral where it's like, what do we do? What do we do? And then I remember something. So I'll just read it out. Obviously, we should be able to tell the computer what we want to do. So do we want to combine or do we want to use the item? I was thinking another mouse button modifier, but originally VR game, limited buttons, contextual actions, tip a trick to pour it out. There should be over any number of applicable options. And it came up with classic adventure game style action selection. Think Sam Max Hit the Road, LucasArts. Mouse wheel to choose what action you'll take with in-hand items. Alternately, we can do a giant selector wheel on hold, kind of like the gun selector in Doom, but with a large dead zone, so you don't change the action when you mean to use it. Usable interface now has how to use that returns tags for options, and use function accepts a tag for which action to take. Opens possibility of combining two held items together. I'm going to add a little note here, but that's not fun because it's not. I like the clumsy. It's a bold statement, but I like the idea that the interface may be clumsy. That as somebody who may not actually know, if you don't know how to combine two things in real life, you may like fumble a little bit. And even though it's not literal fumble, we can create a virtual fumble through our interface. Website. There you go. So, if you remember, I have my sticky note thing. I rearranged this a bunch. So I've got this thing, which is the future, and that's the future. We're not going to care about that right now. I've kind of separated stuff into these kind of categories, and things on the left are things I need to do, and things on the right I have already done. So you can see over here, I've got the clue system that we been working on. We've done all this. I don't need to do those things. We've done this. We've done all this. We have to do all these. There's the stuff I just talked about, and then we have our kind of future, kind of like stuff about UI level, character content, etc. That said, then perhaps it's time for remote activated actors. One other thing I want to put on here is interfaces. Oh, that's not a full. That's not enough room. There we go. Yeah, and I've got those interfaces over there already. All right. Okay. So let's start on these interfaces. That will get us where we're going. What we'll want to do is we want to add another interface. So through previous experience, we know that you can do whatever you want in Unreal Editor. You pretty much have to do this yourself. So what I'm going to do is start with the remote controllable interface by copying one of these. Easiest one would be all the same, eh? I obviously had I typed some stuff here. Combine with. Was I smart enough to type in some stuff for remote controls? No. But we should be doing that first because it's the easy stuff. I don't think these are even the right things from the thing. Let's take a look. If they are, maybe we should just do the combinables first. Combining items. I'll put this down here, that's less important. Because 2 and 3 are the same. Projectiles is 2, so we should finish. Projectiles is system 3, we should finish system 2 first, which is this. So that needs to be done. Right. We did that. Combine, can combine into contain. See, these are different than what's here. So this is obviously me going on a bender from last time. Not gonna have a hint. I'm gonna change these to combine into. Are they from? Yeah, let's do that. That's better. Other, and then there's this one, which is same thing. Oops. That's going to be called combine from. Okay, so this is the kind of flow we're looking at with this. So we have a can combine. So when something, so we could do a thing where you do get a hint about the combining. I kind of don't care. This is more about like, should I bother calling this? And what should happen. And okay, I'm having this is for the record, this is not going down into the systems design rabbit hole. If I do hold on. The only reason we need to do this is because we want to know before we call the thing. But with Unreal interfaces, we can call the interface, and if it's there and it can do it, it will do it. If it's combinable, we can't combine these two things. So let's say we've got that classic kind of like LucasArts adventure game. You take the spanner and you use it on the bread, and it goes, I can't put these two things together. You still did it, kind of, right? So it would be spanner dot combine into, and the other would be bread. Maybe the answer is this, just returns an answer about the combiningness of it. So why don't we do that for now? Because the only reason I want to have a separate call is that I know about it ahead of time. I don't care ahead of time. So we can say, I'm going to use the spanner with the bread. The spanner is going to say nope and return false. If I combine the spanner with the engine, it's going to say yes, and then call combine from. So what that'll do is that if I do, say, if I combine one, if I have like two things that can combine, but logically I don't care which. So like the spanner is one, I'm using this on this to combine them into this thing. And by the way, combining might include things like I'm changing it from a broken engine into a fixed engine, right? So you would be able to say, I'm going to use this on the engine, and the engine despawns and respawns as a fixed engine. You might have something where it doesn't matter which one is used on which. I could use bread on salami or salami on bread to make a sandwich. So either one should be able to do that. So if I go combine salami into bread, the bread could either the bread could go, oh, I'll accept the salami and turn it into sandwich, salami despawn, or the bread could say, oh, I can accept the bread and turn it into a sandwich. I'll despawn myself. You better do something about it yourself and become a sandwich. So that's what the combine from is, so that the two items can interact in a meaningful way. So we've got the combine into, we've got the combine from. I think that should be good enough. Oops, that's a space. All right. And our CPP shouldn't have anything in it. Same, and so that looks the same as this one, right? Yeah. And we'll see if this compiles. So the reason I was fussing so much last time is the idea of like maybe we need to make this data driven or like a data asset, kind of like our drinks here. Don't crash on me. Right, we've got our drink blueprint class, and then we have our data beer, data water blueprint class, primary data asset drink. So we've got the data assets in here. I don't think we need to do anything wacky as far as like drink, because you could make it the primary data asset is has like names of classes. So it's like this combines with this and creates this in the place, right? As it compiles and it comes to the end where it's like is good or not, it wasn't combined. That anytime you take two things and you put them together and make a third thing, this with that, or this spawning a broken engine, respawning a just flip a switch, hide the engines. Okay, I have this combination and will do something. Nice. I must have done something wrong. Probably because I'm clicking. Let me split. So we could do combine into into other engine, and then you could flip with it, and then it would go, oh yeah, I'll flip from being broken to working, and then it would just say true. What has nothing to do with this. Let's reopen that just in case. Out of curiosity. I'm just being curious. I'm just wondering. Ah. Okay, give me a second. I'll be back. Okie dokie. I'm just double checking. Oh, there's a new one already. I'll bet this fixes some of the stuff, but I'll bet it doesn't. So we'll do that another day. That was my out of curiosity. When was that? Friday? That come out Friday? Wednesday. Do I know days? Wednesday. Interesting. All right, we'll leave that open for later. For now, we'll just have this sit here for. Gonna sit there that long. I might as well push the button, right? Right? Like, what could go wrong? So we're gonna do. So we'll make this interface. Make it remote controlled. This is iRemote controlled. This will include remote controlled. Instead of this, we'll do I'm just going to double check interactable, usable. I'm going to call it usable. Remote use. Double check. This doesn't have any character. Yes. So I wanna copy this too. No, that doesn't make sense. Good. You gotta read things, right? Okay, so this is the remote controlled function interface. Remote controlled to H, remote controlled, I remote controlled, U remote controlled, generate.h. Cool. All right. The only thing we need on here is remote use. So remote use. So this is the remote version of usable. And the reason I'm keeping them separate is that we don't want to say call use. One could argue you could put like interact or use on it. Actually, that's probably a better word. I'm changing it. But it doesn't matter. The point is that this interact is not the same as a direct interact. So if you have a light that's controlled by a light switch, if I tap the light switch, the light itself, it doesn't turn it on and off. I have to go to the light switch. Maybe your interact function calls this, or this calls the interact function if you can do both, but that's not something I need to do in this interface. All right, let's push the button and we'll see if it crashes again. I don't think it will. I had it working last week. I guess that was last week. Who knows? Can't trust these internets anymore. Compile complete. Hey! So we should be able, in here we have our things, drinks, drink assets, we have some random stuff in here, but we should be able to, let's do get the ugly lamp, right? Ugly lamp. I'm just gonna double check. No, that's okay. An ugly lamp, and we're gonna make the ugly lamp. We're gonna make the ugly lamp use a light switch. So let's first of all open the ugly lamp. So this is going to be the one that I said earlier, that where you can turn it on at the light or the switch. So I'm going to leave the interact alone. Combinable. Was I on that much? Was I really on that much of a bender where I was trying to combine things with a lamp? I think I was. Oh, thank God I didn't do anything. All right. I remove that. It's a lamp. Don't combine it with things. But we are going to add our remote controlled interface. And this is really simple. All we're going to do is we're going to do I just put, yeah, I just put this. No, not that one. Oh, guest and hand. Oh. We don't use them for here, right? So let's reverse this. Event remote controlled. This actually calls remote interact. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've moved the interact to remote interact. And the idea is that you need this lamp doesn't care who is switching it and what hand they're using. It just switches it on and off. So we're going to move switching it off and on and off to the remote interact, because it also can't care because some other thing is doing the remote-ing. So we do that, and then theoretically this should still work. I'm not going to test it out right now. What I'm going to do instead all right, there's a light switch. Open this up. Wonder what's happening. Then realize, this is not my up. Okay, and then we'll add, and this light switch is going to be a cylinder. I don't think we have one of those. There we go. Cylinder. Enter. And then we're going to say that this, we don't have a remote control interface, and I'm starting to think I don't actually need one unless I'm going to like data drive the remote control. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to say that the only thing this does is implements interact and on the variables here, we're going to say that this has, it's got a Actor. How boring. All right, actor. And then remote controlled. I swear I could do that, but I'll double check. Nope. Actor is fine. All right. So when we interact, we're going to call remote interact as a message. And remember, if it's not a remote controlled object, so the actor is just a plain actor, it doesn't have remote controlled, it's not going to do anything. That's it. It's not going to do anything. Expose on spawn, instance editable. Perfect. Compile, save, close. I'm going to go back into our map. Our test map. There's our ugly lamp. Lamps. They're both ugly lamps. Only one of them is going to be attached to our light switch. I'm going to put right, big light switch until I shrink it. All right. Wait. There it is. I knew one of these buttons did it. I just couldn't figure out which. All right. Oh. That's not what I meant. Let's just use this one. And we'll skip it. There we go. And I'll just have it. I'll just leave it. There's a button for this, isn't there? And I'm just missing it. There it is. Sucker, I know how to use this software. All right, so we've made this light switch. I have pushed forward a little bit too much. And then on here, we've got remote controlled, and I can type in. Actually, hold on. I'll select this guy. And I don't know how I'm supposed to do both. Which one is this? DP ugly lamp. That's the first ugly lamp. Oh, but I just scroll down a bit. Yeah, I just have to scroll down a bit. Save. Now, do I remember if? Yes. All right. So if we remember, I've got set up so you can turn the ugly lamp on and off, but it should be hooked up to this switch. It is. See? And now I can turn it off there, turn it on there, and turn it on off there, and turn it on there. There, if I could aim. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Like I meant to do it. Perfect. All right. Where's my thing? Where's my thing? Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at that, everybody. Interface is done. And it's pretty much like content after that, isn't it? Wrap items, house infrastructure, power, sewer, home. All right. So essentially, these might have to be more complex and have to do with combining items. So the idea that I can shut off the power, I can shut it off and turn on the power. I could do that right now. I'm gonna put the trap items at the bottom. I'm gonna do the house infrastructure first. But you might do something where I've turned it off or I've broken it and you have to go and fix it, which is the same as turning it off and on, but with another thing. Power, sewer, phone. All right. And for the record, yes, I will be obsessively saving this because it doesn't autosave. Should we just go ahead and do it? Say we've done this, right? Because that would be over here. Combine into and combine from. Well, I said something dumb earlier. So we got rid of can combine because we don't care about it. It'll happen or it won't happen. And then we'll get the report after the fact. And combine from. So the other one could demand something of the first one. Somehow. Combine into that. This combine from. Just trying to think of like, okay, so the thing I was saying earlier, right, about bread and salami. You want to combine bread with salami to make a sandwich, or you combine salami to bread and you still get the same sandwich. It doesn't so what you could argue is if I have somewhere between those two, I have to store the concept of a sandwich. I don't want to do it on both of them. That's kind of like what the idea of the combine from is. It's like if I only the bread can do sandwich. It knows how to combine with things to make a sandwich. Salami has a different set of stuff, if any, right? Maybe it just exists as a meat, and then bread knows can turn it salami into sandwich. Crackers turn it into an hors d'oeuvre, right? But that's where that lives depends on just like our own thoughts and prayers. So if I take the salami and combine it into a sandwich or into bread, if I take a bread and combine it into salami, this combine into function in there will go other salami. Yes, despawn both, create a sandwich. If I combine the salami onto a bread, the salami goes, is this, and it doesn't care. It's the other thing that cares. So would I do a thing, would it just be a giant switch statement, right? So on the bread, it's like, if it's salami, make a salami sandwich. If it's tuna salad, make a tuna salad sandwich. If it's cucumber, make a cucumber sandwich. or even you get, and then the salami, and at the very end of that list of things is like, if I don't know what to do with this, combine back into the other one. Not combine from, but just call it on the other one. So what will happen if if that happens, the salami, its list, it doesn't know what to do. All it does in it has, so salami.combine into other, at the very, all it has is other.combine into salami. And then it will go into bread.combine into, and then go through bread's switch statement, find salami, and create the sandwich. So we actually don't need, oh hey, I'm in. We actually don't need that either. All we need is combine into, and a clever way of deciding how to combine things into each other. And now that I say that it's just a switch statement, you can start thinking about, is this data, can we make this into like some sort of data, in that the data is just a list of things that would be in the switch statement and what to call on that item, or what to create or call on the item. So that just got simplified. We've got our switch done. We've got our combinable getting there, right? Action selection wheel UI. So the question is, do I know? Oh, how do I? I don't have a UI, guys. I don't even have like a reticle. I have to learn how to do a reticle, and then the reticle will show you whether you're in interact with the thing, or use my thing with the thing, or use the thing in my hand. And that's a screen widget, which we've done because we've got the whatchamacallit, the stinky finder from before. So we know how to do a screen widget. Do we know how to compile? That's the big question. Yes, and then we succeeded. All right. So that's good. We can actually start working on it. So I would say we worked on this. I'm gonna, because I don't, that might get lost, so I'm gonna. One thing, I don't think we need the remote controller interface. We just need, I don't think it's an interface. That's kind of, it's an object, and you can make it look differently, right? It's like, oh, remote controller, it has an array of remote controlled items, and then it calls remote interact on all of them, and that's it. And then you just change what the object looks like and what it looks like when it's in particular positions. So yeah, I don't actually think we need the remote controller interface, right? So for the record, we have reduced this entire system from all of this. I'm gonna put this. No. Nope. And that we don't need two. We only need one. And nope. Just use an array that calls. Nope, just use an array. We don't need to know that the remote controller has a collection of things. it can handle itself. It doesn't need to be an interface. I think it might actually just be a static class that you change, not static class, but like a Blueprint class where you change what the actor looks like this mesh. I'm actually gonna write that down before I forget it, because I would totally do that. Could just be a BP actor with the remote controlled array where we change the mesh or look depending on change the mesh, then it's depending on whatever. So we took system 1 and made it a single interface. Systems 2 and 3 are just system 2. We have the combinable thing. We've gotten rid of this. I'm just going to delete it. We've gotten rid of this. The combining. And then, oh wait, I want to do another. There we go. Oh my god. Inside it should like a switch statement with that checks the type of other and acts accordingly. Oops. The last default of the switch is switch. To call combine into oops, wrong one. Other dot combine into this. So if I don't have anything to do with this, we see if the other thing has something to do with this. Oh, but that could cause an infinite switch, infinite loop if they don't know what to do with each other. So calls back to here. I'm trying to think. We'll make the function say other, and we'll also make it a bool defaulted. Wait. So defaults to false. So when you're using it, you just go combine into other, keep going. And then the only time it actually should be using defaulted as true, calling defaulted is when you're gone and defaulted. So we should go into here and fix that. Is my mouse on super slow mode for some reason? It is. We're gonna add that into here. Oh, my keyboard has gone to hell. I don't know what's wrong with this thing today or this week. So in defaulted, in combine into, you have to check if defaulted is false. If you get to the end of defaulted, does it let me do that? I can do that, right? I can do that, right? I can do that, right? Or is it only on? No, I can do that. I'm not crazy. Look. Oh, unique equals false. Yeah, I can do that. Don't play me, man. It's literally the same thing. Unique equals false. Oh, it's still trying to figure out my stupid keyboard. All right, I'm just gonna save that and then try and compile, and we'll see if it flies. So when you get to the default at the end, you see if defaulted is true, and if it is, that means that you've got by defaulting on that one. You shouldn't call it back on that one, otherwise you get that infinite loop. You could. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Because you can set default behavior for a function on an interface through Unreal Engine. You could say there's a function that's like combine into back, and it just makes sure it calls a false. But it already does that by setting that to false, so I don't think that's necessary. Now, whether or not, if an object doesn't check defaulted equals true or not, I'm going to put that on the programmer, which is me, so it works out. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do, guys? Let's thing A. Trying to make a thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the thing. Stack mesh. And I'm also going to add point lights. Where? I think I should set a mesh first. Give me a second there. Angle. We loves a bangle. Look at that bangle. All right. Bangle. And we are going to put add to that a point light called point light. And then we're going to grab that and just put it in the middle. Oh, so bright. Brighter. Make it more annoying. Sounds good to me. All right. Use temperature. Can I make it not like? Can I make this more like a headlight? Oh yeah. I don't need it to be like bright. There we go. File, save, and this class here. So first thing I'm going to do. Oops. I have a search. I can just go invisible. Right? Does that make sense? Cool. All right. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to say that this is interactable. It's going to be pick upable. I can't remember. Can I pick up things that I can't interact with? The jar is like that. I'll have to take a look at it. And the last thing is going to be combinable. Okay. Let me just open the jar. Knick-knack. I think it's got both, right? You interact to. Yeah, all right. Compile. So let's just kind of copy this. Interact. I'm just gonna attempt to just like I don't know if that'll work though, but this comes from our library that we had. Pick it up, let it go. Knick-knack, so we're going to do the same. Mesh set collision enabled, etc. And it's no collision, right? And physics only. So now we've got the same thing as Knick-knack. That's right. That's the wrong mesh. We want this mesh. It's not what I meant to do. I want this mesh on the thing. No, come on, guys. This mesh on the thing. Thank you. That's what I meant to do. All right, compile. So now this should be the same as a Knick-knack. But the thing that we want to do is we want to implement combinable. So this is going to be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and go back to here. collision box. There we go. There's a collision box. Is this? We're gonna shrink this down. That look right to you? Here, I'm gonna shrink this down this way. Move it up a little bit so it like next to the thing. There you go. And then I just gotta move over to the side here. All right. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. On component begin overlap. All right, so we are going to take this and we're going to push it into that. We're not doing the whole UI of the thing. We're just going to say whenever this touches the other thing, it's going to activate. So on component begin overlap, we are going to call combine into. So the way we have this set up, we wouldn't combine it onto ourselves, would it? Would we, right? We would call other actor and then do the message combine into that, which makes sense to me. And other is going to be oh, there it is. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. What we want to do is we're going to look at what the other is. Can we do a typo here? I've never done this in Blueprints. Let me see. There we go. Is that a real thing? Did I just make it up in my head? I mean, we have it in C++. Get class. All right, I can do that. Okay, and so let's see. So they're saying I should be able to do get class, and we get a glass on the other side, I assume. Sorry, can I do a switching? No, that's not what I meant to do. Guys. Might have to just do an if, eh? Come on. What the hell? Oh my god. Going nuts. You can do it. Come on, you can do it. You can get there. Reading C++ symbols, interesting. All right, I'm gonna do just like crazy. Maybe we should update it sooner than later, eh? All right. I'm just sitting here thinking if I should like add a thing in here, because right now we're doing like a get class, but could we do like a tag of some sort to say this is a light or this is a salami? This is a lunch meat combined like this. Or try to keep it class for now. Should this even be that? Right? Shouldn't that be you? Shouldn't that be an combinable? You can't combine something if it's not combinable, right? It's just sitting there for now. Let's be terrible about this. We're gonna say that the class uCombinable. Getting this? Are you getting this? Oh, but is that gonna mess up? I think that messes up the blueprintiness of it, because I don't think blueprints like know what to do with that. I'll look into it later. But let's just stick with this for now. We'll just use the class, and then I'll think about whether I want to actually make it like a tag that you can get out of it. Pass in a tag, or like part of the interface is that this is the tag. Here I am. Look up my tag. I feel like I should start typing, because the moment I start typing, Unreal Editor finally opens. It seems so. No, I feel like telling somebody who you are, then asking them back at what are you seems like dumb. Maybe we're going a little bit nuts. Maybe we're going a little bit nuts. Maybe we can just do. Yeah, we'll just say whatever the tag is, right? Because this should have a tag. If we go oh guys, I just I just want to see the set tags, actor set tags. All right. I think this is legit. If I make it so that other thing has to be an actor, aka the thing that you're, it's going to be in the world, right? So it has to be an actor. And so then we could set a tag and see, hey, do you have a tag that tells me if you are, do you have a string tag? Gameplay, I guess it could be a gameplay tag. Do you have gameplay tags on actors? Do actors have gameplay tags? Can I go Unreal Engine actor gameplay tag? Do they all have gameplay tags? It could be a gameplay tag. It's a good sound, right? Good sound? Good sound. All right. So what we can do on thing A. Instead of getting the class, we can get and we don't have one here, but what we'll do is right there. Add a subtag dead by there dot. Actually, first row up, jerk into that. Okay, so if it has test item, we will other is going to be a, we're inside this, right? So I could do other, because, you know, why not? It's going to be other dot oops. Sorry. We're just assuming if you have this tag that you are a thing A. All right, so we're going to get the point light, and then we are going to visible. We're going to negate Boolean visibility. So this just toggles. Is there a toggle visibility? Am I dumb? Yeah, this is toggle visibility, blah, blah. And then return. And we're going to say true because it worked. And I'm going to go, whoops, I forgot something. Return. And this will have false. So if it's not what we're looking for, we say no, we can't combine with this. If it is, we can. In theory, false. Instead of returning, we would do a combine into on the other one. So let's do the theoretical, just in case. Otherwise, other dot, and then we're gonna, oh sorry, and we're gonna call combine into message. And everybody's favorite, self. We're gonna say it's defaulted. So come in here, and then is it a test item? If it is, we do all the things and return true. If it isn't, we see if it's defaulted. If it is, return false. Otherwise, go the other way. And this way is going to return whatever comes out of that. And with the idea being that we have checked defaulted, so when we go into the same code on the other object and get to here, go yup, yup. Okay, we go down here, oh, it's defaulted. We kick out before calling it back. So in theory, what this should do is we would have if I bring one of these together with the other one, it will turn both of them on. One of them on? It'll turn on the one I'm putting out there, bringing it to, and that's it. So let's try that out. Things, thing A, put one here. Grab another thing A, we'll put it right next to it. Over here. Save. Okay, there's our two things. Do I have to start this first? I forgot how this game works. I do have to start this first. To remember which button starts this. Hold on. I just gotta remember how to start the game. Oh, it's not gonna start the game because it's not in actual game mode. I have to go and load the main menu to do that. All right. That's why it wasn't working. All right, host. Here I am. Start the game. Tells me I've started the game. Now I can pick this up? Yes, I can pick this up now. And now I can take this here. I don't know how to get to like collide if I'm not like. Yeah, I can just put it down here. Close. Oops. All right. I've made this difficult for myself. Okay, that doesn't work the way I thought it would. mostly because I don't actually have a way of like holding it out. I suppose that would be something I would do with the use with thing. All right, let's just see if anything's going on here. Can I just drop it here? Sure. Oh, you want to bet this is like so? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Good. So we got our collision working, and we want to do. Oh, do it from here, huh? All right. Well then. We don't need an array. We just need to one tag, which is test item. All right, let's try this one out. Host, activate the game, pick up one of them. I'm just gonna leave it here. Pick up the other one. Problem is, I don't want to. Okay, wait. Turn around. Can't tell if it's on or not. Okay, leave this one here. Can't tell if it activated or not. Time for our favorite thing, which is. Oh, actually, do that. Compile. And then we want to combine into. Excuse me. we'll see if we actually get into that function. We do. It'd be more of a matter that I just can't see the light, or is it rejecting it based on the gameplay tags? Let's take a look. Let's try this. I'll put this more accessible spot. Grab this. Like, ooh. False. Or tagging isn't working. He's using a different function. Let's try that. That's the wrong kind of tag, bro. Any tag. It's the wrong one, eh? Let's do this the simple way I was thinking of before, of just classes, and then we can work on this another time. So we'll go other, get, actually a better one would be cast to BP thing. A. And we'll say, and instead of that, we'll just skip it, go straight to here. And if it fails, we'll go down to here. And we'll just zip this all the way to here. So we'll just try and cast, and if the cast fails, then we know it's not a thing A, and we should go into this like cycle of looking to see if it's something else. And then maybe we can make a thing B in later and see if we can get it to recognize a thing B. But first, Ha! They both turned on, and then I can't pick them up anymore because I've done something weird to them, but that proves it. Oh, that's pretty cool, putting that in there. Better than the ugly lamp. Well, it would be a nice lamp, not an ugly lamp. All right. So, if we look at what we just did, we've got this interface working. We have this interface working. We know it works. We know this works, kind of like the concept. We might have to do a little bit more of this to see if how to figure that out. So I think next time we should look at this UI. Let's do that. So I'm gonna do back to here. So next time, look and let's create an action reticle and simple way to pick action. Simplest way would be the mouse wheel for now. And then we can do a thing where if action is combine, then call item in hand dot combine into right. Hit scan item. So what I'm saying here is that we would take the item in our hand, combine it, and call combine into whatever we hit with a hit scan, the same way that we decide whether to pick up, whether to interact or something or not. So essentially, you gotta take our we should possibly hit scan, what am I trying to say? hit scan code and functionize it if it's not already. And that way we can use the same hit scan with both our interact, which does picking up, and our actually interact. We'll put into interact because interacting with it picks it up. No, that's different. Wait, let's not go there. Let's not go there. So right now we're doing a hit scan on interact, but it's the same hit scan that we should be using for our combining. So that hit scan will take, if it's inside of interact, we should take it out, put it somewhere else, and then we can call that somewhere else. But that's probably one-liner, isn't it? Isn't that one-liner? Because it's like part of the engine. I'm gonna go look now and then take it out if I need to. Is hand holding data actor? Where's the scan? Where did I put it? Am I kind of crazy? It must be here somewhere, right? Get hand from input is hand holding branch. I must have it somewhere. I'm not crazy, am I? I must have it somewhere. Okay, we have hands. Character setup. TV look. Set look. Station mode. I feel like I've gone nuts. I must have that somewhere. I'll bet it's somewhere dumb, like no, that's the dumbest place to put that. Drop a clue. Interact pickup. Interact grab. Nope. Party system. That gameplay ability. No. No. That's the one I would use for the other one. This stuff. Oh, it's obviously still in. Oh, do you know? You know what? I'll bet I'm dumb enough to actually like have it in C++. Do you think it's in C++? You guys, what do you guys think? It's not. Not. Okay, I'll find it later when we're off stream. Add a little hint down here. Tab. I don't know why it keeps there. If I ever find it, there we go. All right. So that seems like a good action to do next time. Do this UI, and then maybe we can start doing this, because all this is what we just did, only we shoot a thing that creates the combination. I think that was a good, compared to like the death spiral I was in last time, that was really good. All right, we'll do that next time. See you later.